Hey girl, hey, get in here. Welcome back to my channel, Becoming with Taniki. This channel is for women in midlife who are unlearning survival, resting without guilt, and releasing old identities. Here, we talk about unlearning what no longer fits, faith, healing, and emotional freedom, becoming who God is calling us to be, slowly, on purpose, with a purpose. Every week, I will post new videos as we explore real life lessons, faith led conversations for women like me navigating in grace and in truth. Welcome to the journey. Stick it out and walk with me. It's a vibe over here and it's free. Now, let's get into it. Sometimes loneliness doesn't just settle in, right? It's not the kind that passes after a busy weekend. It's the kind that lingers long enough that you start asking deeper questions about who you are, about what remains, and about God. I know this season well. There was a time in my life when I realized that God was all I had left. No backup plans, no safety nets, no distractions to soften the silence. Just me and Him. Grief was heavy during the season, the kind that made the house feel louder at night and mornings harder to face. Some days I would sit at the edge of my bed longer than I needed to, just trying to gather the energy to show up for life that felt unfamiliar. Friends were fewer than I expected. Heartbreak rearranged things that I thought would be permanent. And underneath it all was a fear that I did not want to admit out loud. I didn't know who I truly was if no one needed me. And if I'm being totally honest, I started to believe that being needed was the same thing as being loved. So I kept showing up past my capacity. I kept saying yes when I was tired. I kept stretching myself thin just to stay relevant in other people's lives. Somewhere along the way, usefulness had become my identity. I thought if I was helpful enough, valuable enough, available enough, that I would never be left. And that fear kept me overextended, prolonging after my spirit was asking for rest. I kept choosing usefulness over peace until one day I barely recognized myself. And when I finally stopped, some people faded, but it also clarified something that I had been avoiding. Their leaving didn't destroy me. It confirmed that I could not keep living that way. It showed me how much my identity had been built on who called me, who leaned on me, who clapped for me, instead of who never left me. Sometimes loneliness doesn't just visit, right? It meets you in the morning before you fully found your strength. It strips away the noise and distractions you didn't realize you were leaning on. One afternoon, I was on my bedroom floor, right? Too tired to even pretend that I was okay. I told God that I was exhausted from holding myself together. I admitted to Him how badly I wanted reassurance, just somebody to check in. And not long after that prayer, I opened a book and found a prayer card that said, "If God is all you have all you need." And I lost it. Because in that moment, I understood something deeper than myself. God wasn't asking me to make myself indispensable to people. He was showing me that I already belonged. He was loving me in that moment simply because I was His. That space that once felt empty became steady. God doesn't always add to our lives. Sometimes He clears the room, not to punish us, but to show us what was holding us up all along. My worth survives a no. Rest and boundaries aren't weakness, as we discussed before. They're protection. They guard what fear once controlled. They remind me that I don't have to exhaust myself to secure a place that God already gave me. Belonging doesn't come from overgiving. It comes from being rooted in what doesn't leave. So now I keep my boundaries, I choose my peace, and I let God do the rest. I'm no longer auditioning for a place that I already have. And if you're in a season where you feel tired of stretching yourself thin just to feel secure, hear me clearly. You don't have to overextend yourself to belong. What's meant to stay won't leave when you stop performing. You were never loved for your exhaustion. You were always meant to rest in peace while you're alive, okay? And before we go, if this touched a tender place, don't rush past it. Some seasons aren't meant to be fixed or filled, they're meant to be felt. And loneliness doesn't always mean something's missing. Sometimes it's the invitation to hear what's behind the noise. Take what you need from this and leave the rest. Remember, you don't have to perform to be held. You already belong. And if you want to go deeper into this, I share my full reflection along and without performance on Substack for the ones who like to read, okay? And it's free. The link is in the description. I would love to meet you there. Remember, comment, subscribe. I want to talk. I want to hear from you. Is anybody there? Hello? This is becoming. And you're right on time. I'll see you soon.